Hey everyone, real quick. This is a makeup video for the last video that apparently my audio was not working for. We're going to be talking about Black Panther real fast. Basically, just going over a real quick analysis of him and how he works. Essentially, not necessarily the best teams he's going to fit on, because honestly, he's going to be able to work with more teams than most people can realize right now. So I know you've probably seen, um, well, maybe you haven't seen, but I made a couple fun videos with him with Invisible Woman and one with two-star Captain Marvel and Iron Fist. And he can pretty much go with a lot of teams. So this one will just basically be just going over him as a character and pretty much his strengths and weaknesses. But it'll be real quick. So let's just talk about it. Basically, at max level, he's got 110,000 health. That puts him tied for second or third highest in the game at this point, right behind Thanos. So Thanos is the first. He would be tied for second or third. I can't remember. His match damage is tied with Thanos for first in the game. So he has the highest match damage in the game currently, along with Thanos. So potentially that means that he's supposed to be out there striking fast and then ducking back under cover, which is, if anybody knows Black Cat, he's supposed to be agile, so it pretty much fits his playstyle. So he hits hard on his physical powers, like matching, obviously, throwing fists, but his powers per se are not supposed to be what you rely on. But when they actually do happen, they should be pretty hard and fast, and that's kind of how he works as a character. So his highest power, as you can see, or highest match damage, is going to be on Black, and that's exactly the same as Thanos. So it's 1450 here. Let's look at Thanos. As you can see, both 1450 at level 550, so they're both exactly the same. So going back to Black Panther, his powers are Panther's Prey, Spirit of Wakanda, and Move or Be Moved. Panther's Prey is the only active power he has, where active means that that's the only one you actually have to pay to use. The other two are passive powers that trigger depending on what you a set circumstance that has to happen. Panther's Prey, his black power, is very good. If you can keep that tile out there, you can potentially down a character on that alone from full health. It does a lot of damage on top of whatever else you're doing. All right, so Panther's Prey. Choose an enemy and create a 5-turn black countdown tile. While this tile is on the board and the chosen character would take damage, they suffer an extra 11,281 damage. Now, looking at that, there's a lot of things that come into my mind as far as interactions, but I will say the biggest thing that caught my attention is the things that it didn't work with, and that's attack tiles. For some reason, I don't know if it's a glitch or if the fact that attack tiles necessarily don't target and don't have an owner, because once they're on the board, they just happen. So they don't actually target anything. So they will not trigger Panther's Prey. So they happen, but you're not getting the damage bonus from it. So I don't know if that's a glitch and it's something they're going to patch, or if it's supposed to be that way. Next, we have Spirit of Wakanda. It's a passive power. Basically, I'll just go over it real quick. T'Challa summons the wisdom and power of those who were the Black Panther before him to lead his teammates to victory. Whenever you make a yellow match, if you have 11 or more team-up AP, spend 7 team-up AP and deal an extra 53,501 damage to the target. Okay, that's with the power at 4. Now let's look at it at 5. It does 58,342 damage versus 53,000 501. Now, that's not a huge step up in the damage department, but it is a step up in the damage department. The only reason I do not run this at 5 overall is that I feel it's way too iffy in the circumstances. Like, rarely will you have 11 team up AP available to use. Most people that actually end up having team up AP, they will use it for a team up. So basically, you're going to have this later in the game, and it's just going to down something. So unless you're creating a team based on this power, having it at 5 is kind of a waste. So I have it at 4. It seems to do well at 4 because, like I said, it's there's not much of a difference. Now the thing is, going from 3 to 4, if you notice, it's going to spend 8 versus 7 AP to do the power. So with that said, it's better for me and the testing I've been doing with it at 4 versus 5, because it's not a consistent power that you're ever going to have go off each game. The next one is move or be moved, and honestly, to me, both of these powers are the same as far as the frequency of use overall. So on a standard match, unless like he's just taking tons of damage, this is not going to happen. Now this is more of a defensive power that, like, with your team on defense, depending on who's hitting you, could potentially be a game changer. I will say on offense, unless you're using him with Thanos, Invisible Woman, or Agent Venom, or basically anybody that will stun or 4-star Punisher. So those 4 characters will stun the team or make the team invisible for a set amount of time, and then let him become unstunned or uninvisible. That's the only way you can really abuse this power. So Thanos and Invisible Woman would be the cheapest and most efficient ways to do it, because obviously Thanos triggers whenever you kill a character, and Invisible Woman is off her yellow, which is only 9 AP. So you could potentially abuse this power a lot based on those 2 characters. And I did do a video with him and Iron Woman. I don't know if you watched it yet. It was just a little fun match, but basically it was just showing how you could abuse that by using her yellow. So this is another power I feel, if it was more consistent, it would be really worth going from 4 to 5 and the leveling of it. But as you can see, the difference between it triggers at 14,500 damage to him versus 13,314 on levels 4 to 5, as you can see. So to me, that's not a big enough difference to even worry about. Also, the second half of the power, you only gain 300 more damage, not even 300 more damage, like 200 more damage going from 4 to 5. So honestly, it's not even worth it. So you're better off having this power at 3 or 4. And I feel 4 is a good number because of the amount of damage it takes goes down dramatically from 3 covers to 4 covers. Because as you can see, at 3 covers, it's 19,000 damage. At 4 covers, it's only 14,500 damage. So like I said, his yellow and his red, to me, through testing, have been best at 4 each. So right now I have him at 544, and that's overall been the best build for him, unless I'm doing something specific, like literally trying to abuse his red, or I'm trying to abuse his yellow and black. So that's how that stands. Oh, I'm sorry, I actually never even read his red. Black Panther dodges his enemy's attack, then leaps back at them. If Black Panther would take 14,525 or more damage, negate 60% of that damage and stun him for 2 turns. Other half of the power. Whenever Black Panther returns from being stunned or invisible, he deals 25,903 damage. So yeah, I've already talked about it, but that's basically it in a nutshell. It's a retaliatory attack type of deal where, like, he gets hit, thinks like he's thinking about it, but then when he's done thinking, he lashes out. That's basically how that power seems to work to me, as far as like if you were trying and put that in terms of something in real life. So with that said, we're just going to play a couple of matches real quick, and so you can kind of just get to see how he interacts with like Thanos, because basically to me that's what you should be running him with mainly, is Thanos, because you've got full color coverage except for blue. And with that said, like, you're going to have the active color gap of red, blue, and yellow. And so your third would have to be somebody, if you're trying to go for a full color coverage, somebody who covers that. And so to me, there's only a couple of characters, like if you were playing a serious team, where you could actually run that. So Doctor Strange, really good. So he could be a good third for this team. Iron Man could be a really good third for this team, because Black Panther, as you can see, Black Panther is actually on Team Iron Man, so he will buff Iron Man's red power. So that alone just makes it kind of like he's a good third for this team, especially on defense, because Iron Man, he can really kind of screw the enemy team up. So let's go into a few matches. We'll just start playing. We'll just start there. So not going to use any boosts. Obviously, I'm going to take damage because this team doesn't heal, but I'd rather play it just straight up matches and show you how the team works. I'm not going to do any extra match damage. That was for something else, so take all that off. And we'll just play. Now, if I get cascaded out, it's going to happen, but I can't control that. So we'll just go from there. Now, your strategy being what it is, you have Thanos and Black Panther on the team. So you're gonna want to, one, kill the character on the enemy team with the lowest amount of health first, or that's your biggest threat. In this case, the lowest health person on the enemy team is Doctor Strange. And the biggest threat overall, even though it doesn't seem like it, is Natasha. She can kill you out of nowhere. She is easily the biggest threat. Bolt seems like he should be because of his passive, but the charge tiles can actually make the game easier for you. You can match his charge tiles away and actually just start gaining AP like crazy. So honestly, he's not your biggest threat right now on this team. It's going to be Doctor Strange and Natasha. So you kill him, Thanos is going to stun the entire team, and you're going to go from there. So let's go. All right, as you can see, it was a pretty decisive victory, because Black Panther, from coming unstunned, just did a ton of damage to just go ahead and drop Widow down. Iron Man basically did his cleanup, and it just goes from there. So we're just going to just keep playing. All right, now the different dynamic on this is that your biggest threat is Phoenix, but the problem being that you don't have a way to keep her from coming back unless you have enough purple to cast Thanos' power. So we're going to still get her as low as possible, then try to make sure we have enough purple to keep her tile from coming back. And there we go. We're going to keep Phoenix from coming back. All right, let's change the team dynamic up just slightly. All right, as you can see in that last match, Doctor Strange died like a little punk, honestly. But that is because just of what I was saying. Natasha, big threat, huge. She has a lot of damage that she can just do on her powers. They may be a little expensive, but all it takes is her getting it one time, and she can just drop anybody, and that's exactly what happened. She killed Strange in one hit. mistake. Oh, I'm tripping. I keep hitting the wrong person or wrong power. All right, I'm gonna stop right there real fast. So if you notice, I just turned everybody invisible, and that unstuns Black Panther. So I don't know if everybody knows that, but if you actually turn a character invisible, they will become unstunned.